Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that. Regular recording. I'm Joe.
And I'm Calvin.
Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that.
My ears are still ringing. Oh, gosh, so loud. How was your week?
Just like every other week.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, it came, it went. The end.
My week was terrifying. I went and got scanned for my Invisalign, and they told me everything wrong with my mouth. So I thought I was doing okay, and then apparently no. So
Don't think anyone cares about that. That's too much information.
it's a highlight of the week for me.
Too much information.
They were like, your teeth are severely overlapped as a crossbite, but it doesn't present like that in the front of your mouth.
Huh.
I said, oh.
I guess that's part of That
Okay.
Happened with Joe. What
Also,
else?
apparently, I have Filipino teeth.
That happened
Did
with
you know that you can have different teeth based on your ethnicity? Did not know that.
That happened with Joe.
But apparently, I have Filipino teeth.
Things you need to maybe not care or know.
She's like, your molars have like a little pocket. It's very Asian-esque. I said, okay.
It's only going to go downhill from here, people.
And then she goes, are you Asian? I said, my mother is Filipino. And she goes, oh my gosh. Apparently, there's another lady with my exact same name, first and last, who's also her client. I've never met another woman named Javon, let alone another woman with my exact name. Very interesting.
And that happened with Joe.
No.
I guess.
It was fascinating for me. Anyway, real that happened with Joe. They are in the process of getting the jury for Diddy's trial. Have you heard about that? So because it's a federal case, there's no cameras allowed in the courtroom. So we're relying heavily on eyewitnesses. So that is people in the news cycle that were approved and court illustrators, basically.
And Skechers. Skechers going to be amazing. They're going to have Diddy looking all types of crazy.
Have you seen the sketch? They already have the sketches out. Have you seen them?
They're going to have him looking like a demon.
Apparently, he doesn't break eye contact and just stared at everybody who's in the press, throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
That's creepy. So
Not creepy.
yeah, it is creepy.
That's how people with power work.
Okay.
They think they have some hockey or aura that can intimidate you if they stare at you.
I like how everything's a One Piece reference. So yeah.
Yeah, that's their hockey. Or conquer. That's their thing. They think they have conquerors hockey.
What did you think about Terrence Howard talking about his experience with Diddy?
Who the hell is Terrence Howard? Oh,
the main.
oh,
You know,
Mike.
Maine.
You know, Mike. I'm gonna get you, Mike.
Mhm.
You play my music,
Lucius
Mike.
Lyon.
Lucius, Mike. He's Lucius in every role.
I agree.
Okay. What did he say?
Basically,
I think I saw it.
he was talking about how Diddy had invited him to his house because he said he needed a tutor for acting. He was trying to get more serious roles.
Yeah.
So Terrence Howard went over there to discuss acting with him, and it got weird real fast. Apparently, he kept giving him longing looks, and he's like, I don't know what's going on with this. And then Diddy's assistant was like, yeah, he'd like you to stay after to hang out. And he's like, why would we hang out? And she was like, she indirectly implied that they're going to Netflix and chill, which is code for sex. So
basically, what I took from him, he was saying, he was like, so where's the lines? He was like, I don't. So when we gonna go over the lines? And Diddy never got to.
He wanted to give him a massage and buy him things, and he's like, what's happening?
He's like,
why are we doing this?
Yeah, and he left because he was like, you're wasting my time.
People have been dissecting every song that Diddy's on, and there's always something weird that he's. Apparently, there's something weird that he always says.
If you can dissect every song and find something weird, a bar that's weird, a reference that's weird in every song, it's not that hard.
I don't. There's one thing to reach and be like, isn't this vague? It's quite another when he's
you can listen to
very literally saying, I'm going to take you out on a date to another man. It's very interesting.
You can listen to a bunch of DMS songs, and DMS sounds possibly gay if you listen to the songs.
I don't think we're making the same comparisons, but okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, you get certain references people use. It sounds kind of, you're like, okay, that sounds kind of suspect.
Mm-hmm.
But and then too is music. Can It's open ended. It can mean so many things. So
It's open-ended?
yeah,
Okay. See, we date them like we hate them, see them like we don't need them, treat them like we beat them, and never give up freedom, and we only give our number to a select few, and it's best that you never knew what good head what? Selected few, and it's best that you never knew what good head'll do. Turn a freak to a bisexual, and if she's flexible, fuck the nigga next to you. What is open-ended about that?
first of all, Javon, I guarantee you, he didn't write those lyrics. He just said them. So there's that. So the person who wrote those lyrics,
He is credited with writing the lyric.
he didn't write those lyrics. He didn't want to give the person credit who wrote those lyrics.
You don't think it's oddly specific what's said? You don't think that's weird?
People who ghostwrite write to try to write the words.
I
as
just love
if
that
the
you got an
person's
excuse for
singing.
everything. You're like,
No.
it's not weird. It's the ghostwriter.
No, what I'm saying
It's
is,
open-ended.
what I'm saying
It's
is,
subjective.
then why weren't those people saying the same thing when the lyrics first came out?
Apparently they were.
No one was saying nothing.
I think it's like the R. Kelly thing where people were talking. Just no
Whatever.
one thought anything was gonna happen.
Whatever. Everything's open ended. That could mean
Like again, R. Kelly also has lyrics that haven't aged well where people are like,
once again,
yeah.
once again, the lyrics meant the same thing now that it meant back then.
But
you didn't care. So that's the point is you didn't care. So
Okay.
I don't care now.
But also, I think it's the whole like enforcement thing. Like attitudes changed. We've learned a lot more
No,
contextually.
people have this fake outrage and care now.
I think both are true. I think both are true. They're quick to jump on a bandwagon to complain, but I also think we also have evolved as a society. Like we've learned some stuff. Like, oh, that is not great.
I don't
Wait,
I don't think we have.
I didn't say we resolved everything. I said that we've learned more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just my thing is a lot of he's a producer.
Rapper.
He's not a rapper.
He considers himself a rapper.
He's not really I guess he's a producer. He's more of a I don't know what the hell he is.
He's a producer, rapper, music mogul,
He is not a rapper.
writer.
No, he's not.
You can say no, but it says he has all these things.
Yeah, because I think he stole a lot of people's publishing and writing credits.
I'm just saying
like
he has established it,
like
and people have like gone with him establishing it.
like Dr. Dre didn't write none of his lyrics. He's had a lot of ghostwriters. Eminem wrote for him. Jay-Z wrote for him. 50 wrote for him. A lot of people wrote for him.
I like how you didn't say the biggest one that would have wrote for him.
Who?
Cube.
Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was his first writer.
You're right. And DLC wrote a lot of his lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So if they wrote some suspect lyrics and he said them, he's just reading what he said.
I'm just saying, as controlling as Diddy is, you don't think he had a little say about how he wanted to say something?
Maybe, but at the end of the day, I don't care what he said on record.
Also, I just read those lyrics to prove my point that it's not really subjective. It was quite specific. So treat him like we beat him.
If you okay, well that's
What?
that's obvious. He has a
What do you mean?
he has
Turn her bisexual so she fucks the nigga next to you. I got more questions. We questioned nothing though when it came out.
He said
Questioned nothing.
He said turn her bisexual.
Turn her bisexual so she'll fuck the nigga next to you. What does that mean? That doesn't make sense. But okay. Unless the nigga next to you is already bisexual. Maybe that's what you're being. And you want her to be okay?
It don't mean anything. It's him just saying words to me.
I don't think so. I feel like a little bit of his real life. Like that part is subjective. How you want to determine everything. That part is subjective.
That's like think someone's
Oh, have you seen the Cosby clip that's been going around?
why?
I don't know if you remember when we were watching that old Cosby movie, and I was like, "Yo, this is uncomfortable," and you were like, "Stop! This was way before all of the allegations." Blah 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 blah. It's that clip. It's him and another guy, and they're in couples with the two other ladies, and he's cracking a joke about how like he's gonna sleep with one of them.
He's with Sidney Poitier in one of those old 70s movies.
Yeah, the boxing one.
The Oh my god, I can't remember what JJ Walker's in it.
Yeah.
Um,
But there's a scene where it's them as the couples, and Cosby cracks a joke about how he's gonna sleep with his girl whether or not she likes it. He cracks that joke.
once again, it's
And
probably
people are like, "Ooh."
yeah, that's probably words that were written
So here's the
by
thing, they
somebody.
made a compilation, and he cracks a similar joke of that same nature of, like, non-consensually sleeping with a woman in, like, a lot of his movies.
He's been saying that
Like, a lot of the
he's been
films.
doing it in his jokes.
So here's my other
If you
thing.
watch his stand up, he's been doing a lot of that in his stand up.
My other thing, though, is that him cracking these jokes, I feel like he's not him, it's not a one-off, it's not him doing it by himself. Clearly, there was a culture around this where they were like, "It's fine.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is not
It was
it's
called
not bad at all."
it was called partying in the 70s.
I guess so.
He always talked about his stand up. If you watch his old stand up, he talking about putting Spanish fly and people and female drinks of using Spanish fly.
It just cracks me up because I distinctly remember being like, "Ooh," and you being like, "Get over it."
I'm like, yeah, get over it.
And now more people are like, "Ooh."
I don't care what the hell they did in the 70s. I don't. I wasn't born.
I'm just saying
Has nothing to do with me.
it establishes a context of why of what kind of also led into no one saying anything for so long.
The context
It
of
being normalized for
context
so long.
of men doing what the hell they wanted to do.
Yeah. Speaking of men knowing to do, let's go ahead and get to my next topic because so they're still doing jury selection basically for Denny to wrap that part up.
I did it to myself.
Some people have been trying to get out of jury duty by saying like I'm not going to give up weed throughout this trial. So unless you want me to be high doing this, okay. And like so, there's other people who've been trying to get out of it, but I am curious to know how they're going to do this. Technically, juries are created by the people in that state who are not supposed to be aware of your situation, but everybody knows who Diddy is. So I don't know how this is gonna work. So, have you heard about the Joe Budden versus Quinta Brunson video that went viral?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, and I said that I was surprised. I didn't know that she was married for one, and then also I didn't know that she was married to a white dude. Yeah, she keep him tough. She's keeping tough. Cool. I did say that it's interesting to me because I do have a little bit of a ooh, that's interesting feel when I see someone that I consider kind of pro-black married to someone who's white.
I feel less like that for black women than I do for black men who make that same choice.
All right, now
Wait.
you got a rebuttal for that?
Less like
No, I want.
I don't.
Let him elaborate, please.
I do a double take in both cases. I don't judge. I'm not the person that says you don't
I'm
look.
not judging
You're not
you.
pro-black. I don't say that. But I make a different choice because I know a lot of the black women I find in those powerful positions who end up with white men, black men didn't choose them, and so they're often going where they're loved. I'll give you an example. When Whoopi Goldberg started dating Ted Danson, an old school reference for them. Black people was mad, and you know what Whoopi said? How many of y'all would date me? That was her rhetorical question. And obviously, she never encountered those dudes, but most niggas I know that was talking shit wouldn't have dated Whoopi Goldberg.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you say to the athlete that says the exact same thing, that they didn't want me?
No,
There's a lot of them dudes that say, yo, I wasn't, they didn't want me when I was in,
Let's
when we
go
was in
freeze.
school and none of that shit. So
You
I
wasn't
went
wanted.
over there where I was wanted.
That
They
feels a little
say that all the
different.
time.
And all the time.
Say it all the
The
time.
man's opinion is not going to be validated in this instance. So it's almost a
That's what it
futile
sounds like.
It just feels like apples and oranges. It just feels like apples and
And it's
oranges.
not. And it shouldn't be.
No, here's why it's apples and oranges. It's a difference between saying the Whoopi Goldberg is in the NFL, and they still don't want her.
Okay.
Yo, I gotta jump in really quick here. I didn't want to say it the first time because I didn't want to be ignorant. Whoopi's getting slid by black dick.
Yo.
That's happened in life. If we need to bleep that, we can. But I just don't want to keep painting Whoopi out
Like
to be.
there was no black man that found her.
I think Whoopi. I think Whoopi Goldberg is beautiful. And sincerely, for me, it's just about.
She may not have been a sex symbol, but
Niggas
she's been famous her whole life. The same rules apply.
And for sure, anybody who's famous can get somebody at all times. But what she, I'm just saying what she communicated outwardly, which was nobody was trying to wife. She wasn't trying to get wifed. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's getting slid or not, but I'm saying she wasn't getting wifed. That was her thing. And certainly not by the black equivalent of Ted Danson, who was a huge star / sex symbol in the 1980s. I mean, he was the biggest thing going at one point.
Oh, for real?
Ted Danson, yes.
Ted Danson was the man. Cheers.
Yeah.
They did the blackface thing.
He was Sam on Cheers, right?
Yeah, they fucked it up.
So when I talk to black women who have these experiences, a lot of times what I hear them say is, and not all of them, I know some of them just went to white schools and just don't love black people. That's a different thing. That's different. But what I'm saying is somebody like Quinta, who I know didn't have that experience. I know where Quinta grew up. We went to the same high school. You know what I mean? I'm much older, but like, I know what her experiences were. I know she loves black people, and I know that before she was on, she wasn't getting that level of attention and care. Or let me not speak for her. A lot of black women in her position were not. And so I'm assuming that I'll be more inclined to read her more with more grace than I would somebody who had different options. That's all I'm saying. And I think the difference between Ice, what you're saying, and what the other thing is, it's one thing
I'm going
to
to speed this up a little bit.
When that's what Ice is
I
arguing.
get the.
Before he became All-American. And what I'm saying is, I have seen directly the equivalent of that in entertainment on the women's side have something different. Now, again, you can still make the argument that they should make a different choice. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I read them with more grace. There's a difference between saying, before I got famous, nobody wanted me, and saying, even when I'm famous, they don't want me. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying they're not the same.
No, but you are creating that narrative to support your ideal.
No, I'm saying that's what they say.
The same way so listen. Cool.
So they're going to continue to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But ultimately,
that dude has an issue with I think they know, they're like friend. They know each other real well.
who's they?
Lamont, whatever.
Mark Lamont.
Yeah, and that light skinned dude.
Okay.
That's doing all the arguing with him because he's a flat earther or something too. I think
He's also dating a white woman.
so. Here's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Lamont Limited.
Mark Lamont.
Mark Lamont. There's a difference from saying nobody wanted me. Vice.
So just in case anybody was listening and has no idea what the heck I just played, Joe Budden has a podcast. He had a Patreon exclusive, basically. That's what we're watching. It was a Patreon exclusive discussion that they were having. It's his co-podcast with this guy named Mark Lamont, who's off camera, so I don't see him too much. And then there's 3 other guys sitting on that couch.
Mark Lamont is the guest. He's not part of that podcast.
No, he's regularly on that podcast.
Oh, yeah, regularly on, but he's not a part of that podcast.
No, he is. He's part of the Joe Budden Experience now.
Oh, now?
Yeah, he's
I didn't
regularly
know.
on that podcast.
Oh, I didn't know. My fault. My bad. Apologies to me.
So, but basically, it's the 2 dudes on the couch and then the one guy that's in the corner who was like, Whoopi Goldberg was getting slid the back dick, whatever.
Yeah, that's Joe
that are
Budden.
going back and forth. Their argument.
Joe Budden said that.
Joe Budden said that, not the guy in the corner? I thought the guy in the corner said it.
That was Joe Budden. I distinctly know his voice. That was Joe Budden.
Anyway, there's another black guy in the corner who also agrees with him. Like, their whole conversation around Whoopi Goldberg being desirable by black men, he's like, that wasn't. Basically, they both try to say that she did have that option, but she chose to go white, which is not.
No, she didn't.
True. Anyway.
Dudes wasn't trying to bang Whoopi Goldberg. If anything, Whoopi Goldberg was the ugliest actress in Hollywood.
That's what a lot of people were saying for a very long time. So, but
and Celie didn't do her no favors neither.
But so the conversation kind of goes into like 3 different directions. First, it was I didn't know Quinta was married to a white guy. Then it was I didn't know somebody who's so pro-black could marry outside of their race. Then it's when a male athlete, black athlete, does the same thing, marries outside of his race. Now it's a problem, and like it's their discourse around that afterwards, which was infuriating but interesting at the same time.
No, sound like their argument was that the black athletes were saying the same thing
which is what I just said.
Oh,
you just like to say I'm wrong for some reason?
No, sure,
no,
sure, whatever.
Okay.
I don't think the black athlete thing is like Lamont said, apples to oranges.
I agree.
It's not the same thing.
I don't think it's the same.
Those
context.
guys aren't saying that the girls didn't want them because
they were black.
They were black.
They're saying those girls didn't want to mess with them because they had no money.
They said the girls didn't want to mess with them because they didn't have no money.
Right.
Or they want the best player on the team at the time. They didn't think they were going anywhere. That's their issue. The issue is not the black or whatever.
Right.
That's the issue.
But I did find it interesting that they were like adamant. It's the same thing. They were adamant. And then that one dude's response being like, it's just another example of them not respecting a black man's opinion. And it was like,
because
okay,
they
interesting.
want to
He goes on to say something crazy where
I,
even Joe Budden goes, "Okay, no, I was with you, and then you lost me." He gives this crazy example of how like basically like putting white women on a pedestal again, saying that like there's a reason black men go to white women, blah 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 blah, and they're like, "Okay, I don't know where we're going with this." But it's him and Lamont going back and forth. But it's Lamont talking the way he's talking, which is like quite educated. He's like trying to give very clarifying, distinguished statements, and they're like they easily conflate it with their feelings. They try to bring it back to like how he is trying to change the discourse, how he is dismissing their points when they're not really making any points or just giving opinions. But I just want to know overall, did you agree with the sentiment that it's the same? And you said no, it's not. It's apples and oranges.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not even what he's saying about Quinta is she got, before she was famous, they didn't want her.
Mm-hmm.
She got famous, they still didn't want her.
Mm-hmm.
Vice, them not wanting you, not because you're
Poor.
poor.
It's not a classism thing, right?
It's not a classism thing.
Right. It's a desirability thing.
Yeah. Then you get money.
Come a little bit more.
I guarantee you, if you want a black girl, then you can get them. I'm just saying.
But you don't. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not the point. Is not that. The point is before I had money, you didn't want me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got money, you still don't want me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. The issue ain't I got money now.
And it's opened the floodgates.
It's opened the floodgates. Now you want me. No, that's not the point. The point is you didn't want me neither places.
I just found it interesting that the two guys on the couch in particular, who are both dating white women. These are both black men dating white women.
Because they feel attacked. It's a saying there's a saying people have. Country people say it a lot. A lot. A hurt dog will holler or hit something. A hurt dog
hollers like louder or something.
Yeah, hurt dog loud.
Will always holler.
Will always holler, something like that.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Oh, that's okay. That's what it references.
That's
basically being in your feelings all the time.
Yeah, he got hit with the white woman thing. He's married to a white woman, and Lamont was just making just a random
educated
point.
statement.
Just a random point. He wasn't bashing nobody.
Nah.
He wasn't coming at saying if you this. First of all, he started the whole thing with the pro-black thing. The pro-black thing. He started the whole conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically, it's like 3-on-1. So there's another guy in the corner. It's the two on the couch, and it's Budden. Budden is more instigator than anything. He just kind of like pushes him to say something else. But the three, it's like the three versus Lamont. And he holds it the entire time. That clip is like 6 minutes of them going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the people on the couch getting increasingly more angrier and angrier.
And then I'd have been like, sounds like you just got hit by a car. Why are you hollering so loud? I'm like, did that what I said hit a nerve or something?
I am confused why this was a topic, period. Like, first of all, one of the guys that's on that couch has talked about, I want to say he belittles black women, but he doesn't see them in the same avenue as he sees white women. I was confused why he was even talking about Quinta the way he was. I mean, he said he was surprised to find out that she was married to a white guy because she's going through her divorce right now. But then to also equivocate it with being for the cause.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
wait, what?
Here's what happens. They feel some type of way when a black woman with a white guy.
Which doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It really doesn't.
You don't want them.
Exactly. But
like Lamont said, they're just going where they're loved.
But then
what's the alternative?
Turn it around. Well, nobody wanted me, you know what I'm saying? The system weren't good enough, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When I want to elevate it to that level, she wouldn't go to that level. I had to put up with all the stuff like, ask me where I am. What am I doing? Stuff that normally get asked in relationships. I didn't feel like she needed to know because I make so much money. I'm like, sure.
Mm-hmm. It's confusing to me and confounding.
Like
for
there was
sure.
Another podcast on a similar note but different.
Okay.
He was talking about how why women are single or by themselves is because
just in general, women in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they pick these high brow dudes.
Okay.
That don't want them.
Okay.
Instead of picking hard working dudes who want them, and that's why they end up as single moms and all this stuff. I'm like, dude,
That's
majority of the women
That's not
Who
true.
are single moms because hardworking dudes didn't want. I'm like, I don't understand your argument. Your argument doesn't make any sense.
You're saying all of them? All of them are choosing high?
I'm like,
no one's
your
choosing Rick and
argument doesn't make sense. He's like, well, I'm a hardworking guy. I'm a good guy. I'm like, if you got to say that, then you're probably not.
That is a fact. Facts.
So at the end of the day, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with what they were saying.
Okay.
Athlete, that I think they conflated the two, like he was saying.
Okay.
To me, I've never heard an athlete say they didn't want me because they didn't want me.
Because they didn't want to mess with any black men.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then when I got money,
now it's okay.
they still don't want me.
Mm-hmm.
If you went to predominantly black school, it's like you didn't have any other choice.
Right.
So I don't.
Right.
And which majority of them go to predominantly black schools.
So apparently, a lot of this new era of people playing or whatever, a lot of them have gone to PWIs. I did not realize this, but a lot of the private schools are snatching talent like early.
Yeah. A lot of them go to these private schools.
Which are like primarily white. They're PWIs, primarily white institutions. And in that vein, to me, that logic tracks that they'd be more inclined to like white women because that's who they were around entirely.
That's a totally different set of circumstances.
I agree. It is a different set of circumstances.
But you still go back home.
That's true.
But then a lot of them play ball. They play ball damn near year round now. So I don't know.
It is interesting how young kids now are like in tours and stuff. I got a coworker, his kid plays hockey, but he's in AA, triple A, something with the A's, which means he's got a tour as a high schooler. He tours the country to play.
He's in AAU.
I don't know, maybe.
If he's in AAU, that's all they do.
He dislocated his shoulder recently, so he had to take a little bit of a break.
They pretty much go from different teams to teams, travel around the country.
He's in high school
to play.
I was so confused.
Kids now don't really play high school basketball.
He wasn't. Well, he doesn't play basketball. He plays hockey. This guy's in hockey.
But I'm just saying, they're either in prep schools where they travel around playing different teams from different states, or they're on AAU teams.
That's gonna make me spiral down a different rabbit hole. But yeah, I just find it interesting. Like all of this pressure that kind of comes around playing in a sport to include your love life. All of that's included. It is crazy, and it starts younger, and to me, it seems like it starts younger and younger and younger as the generations continue to progress.
Because you have to sacrifice
so early. You got to sacrifice
to make it. Yeah.
Yikes!
The later you start, the further behind you are.
That's crazy.
Unless you just have God-given ability
to just kind of jump in,
where you can just pick it up and excel real fast. But most people got to train.
I'm also confused about what the state of the game is right now. I've been overhearing a lot of conversations around what basketball used to be versus what basketball is now, and how like apparently now basketball is more for people who like genuinely like the sport versus before it was more celebrityism. It was more like spectacle.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, it relates to that video I showed you where they were talking about like defense and how it's progressed basically.
Oh, it's because the court has it's expanded.
Well, they're talking about like the showmanship that would draw in audiences. Apparently, in like the maybe 70s, 80s, 90s, if there was an entertainment value to watching a basketball game, because there was different showmanship. You might see the athletic prowess, or you might see the fight that happens. Apparently,
oh my God, it's because they had nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do.
That's all. That's the difference. They had nothing else to do.
Oh my goodness!
It's either make a whole bunch of babies or go to they didn't call it a movie. What did they call it? A picture show?
A picture show? Wait, what time frame is this? 1890?
50s, 60s. They're talking about the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
The conversation I was overhearing was about 70s, 80s, and 90s.
70s and 90s. In the 70s, they didn't have much to do, but
they did.
What?
Carnivals, beaches,
make kids, make babies, go work in factories, drink all day.
No, we watched a documentary where a bunch of guys, shirtless, decided they were going to have a picnic. That happened. They wrestled.
Drive-in movies, wrestling. TV just really started to pop.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big thing.
Okay.
And basketball wasn't even on TV yet. So let's just start there. No, it wasn't.
Basketball was televised in the 70s.
No, it wasn't. It was tape delay. So after the game already happened.
But it was still televised.
Later on, they'll probably put it on TV.
But it was still televised.
But it wasn't a priority. More people went to the games.
Live and in person, yeah. They were more affordable also, though.
And that's another big thing. Mm-hmm. They were more affordable.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the 90s, you didn't have internet, all the stuff to be able to watch a game 500 different ways, and it was still affordable. Moving to now, it's damn near a house note to take your child,
like a mortgage,
and your family to go watch a game. On top of that, you have 9,000 different platforms to watch a game on.
So you don't have to go in person
if you want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're saying in terms of like audience change? That's really what it is.
Yes.
Accessibility has increased.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what's changed.
They were talking about the players. How like the players now, you don't really, if you're gonna watch a basketball game, you're not really watching for the spectacle at all. You're there to watch a technical.
Watch what? I don't. Wait.
They were making this argument how like, because apparently there's going to be a documentary coming out around the Dream Team again, and they were just talking about how like that era of basketball player, it was just a lot more, in their opinion, showmanship. There was a lot more razzle dazzle, if you will.
It was no razzle dazzle. It was they think they played more defense. It was way more physical.
They were talking about personality. They were saying that there was a lot more personality on the court.
And two, you didn't know what the hell Michael Jordan was doing on his off days and the days in between.
What's that?
What he was doing?
What's that got to do with
you
that?
have way more access to athletes now.
Oh, you're saying that's taken away some of the mystique?
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
There's no mystique around athletes now because social media.
Because you have a clear, transparent view of them at all times.
Yeah, social media has killed that.
I would think that would increase like the influencer aspect.
What made Michael Jackson so famous and so
his talent?
That and the fact that
they've known him forever.
We didn't know what he was doing in his off time. We didn't know.
I feel like we did. I feel like that.
No, we didn't.
I get what you're saying, but Michael Jackson was one of those rare situations where they had followed him from his childhood into his adulthood.
It's one thing to see me grow up doing a certain job or be in the music business. It's another thing to know what I'm actually doing in my day to day.
Okay.
You really didn't know what Michael Jackson. You didn't know what.
Him being like, get ready with me for whatever. Blah blah blah.
You didn't know Michael Jackson was what TV show he really liked unless he got on the interview and told you.
I see what you're saying. He could control a lot of his information.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can literally watch what LeBron doing. I get you. LeBron probably got. I know LeBron got a Facebook or whatever or Twitter.
Facebook. How old are you?
I'm sorry. Twitter or IG page or Twitter page. You can look at his Twitter page and probably follow.
You mean an Instagram or a TikTok?
TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Who gives a goddamn?
No one's going to a Twitter page for this.
Whatever. You can look at his TikTok.
Twitter also doesn't exist anymore.
Whatever. Yeah, you're right. I will not say that demon name. You can go to his TikTok.
His socials, yeah.
Socials and see what he's doing daily. Taco Tuesdays.
I don't know that LeBron is posted like that though.
Taco Tuesdays. That was LeBron's whole thing. Taco.
Now, Steven, what's his face? He for sure would.
But that's what I'm saying. You, if you wanted to, you can figure out by their.
They were just saying that like the way that people follow sports now is not like how it used to be.
We have all this technology in our hand.
That's changed.
That's why
the landscape of it.
Exactly. Yeah. If a person wanted access to me, they had to come. I had to give them access to me.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need me to give them access to me now.
But I mean, think about all of the tabloid stuff. Tabloids used to be very intrusive.
But that also helped.
They broke the news around Magic.
That also gave the mystique of the player.
You think that added to it? You're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't get updated information.
Because it wasn't the player telling you directly. It was somebody else, a third party.
That's the difference.
I see.
There's no mystique around players no more.
I kind of agreed with them that it has changed. It's not as spectacle.
Because of technology.
Yeah. But I also wonder, like, depending on the audience, like the kids, younger fans, They don't remember the spectacle days like that. They don't know what that is.
They don't care. It's the old people talking about it. If you look at all the complaints, it's everybody 50 and over.
It was
maybe
just
in
interesting.
their mid 40s and up
It was just
that have a
interesting.
problem with this. Nobody else does.
We went off kilter. This is not even related to That Happened. But that's it. That's it for me. It was the Joe Budden thing, and it was the Diddy trial. But now you guys know that Calvin is heavily invested in basketball.
Not really.
Oh my gosh, he just went on a rant for like 15 minutes.
Because you gave me a topic to talk about.
That you're invested in. Feelings.
Moving
for the
on
win.
to PolyFamily episode 1. Season 1 episode. This should be episode 2, right?
It is season 2. I mean,
episode 2.
Season 1, episode 2. Oh, did I put the wrong thing in the notes?
Whatever, yeah.
It says 2. It says episode 2. Are you looking at the right notes?
I'm probably not. My bad.
It's the one that says 959.
There we go. It just updated. Season 1, episode 2.
Here we go.
Polly wants a baby.
Okay.
There are nice little pictures in here with names
because
on top
you couldn't
of it
remember a name
everything.
to save your life last time.
These
So I
notes
gave you pictures.
These notes are made for me. Thank
Yes.
you.
So here. I mean, you can't really see it, but that's Tyler.
Yeah, I know. Taya is pretty much going to the hospital to be induced for labor.
Yes. And she's very worried about whether or not all her partners can be there. Because they're a quad. So it just as a reminder. Sean is married to Taya. Taya is married to Sean. But she is dating Tyler. Tyler is married to Alicia. And Alicia is dating Sean. And Tyler is dating Taya. But Alicia and Tyler are married to each other. Quad.
And so she gets the thumbs up from the doctors that they all can be in there.
Yes. She's very happy.
So they pretty much watch her.
They're all excited too. They're like
Yeah.
all really excited for this.
They watch her pretty much jump up down on a beach ball, do this stuff to get it, but it didn't work, so they end up doing a C-section.
She's jumping up and down the beach ball to get her labor started.
Nothing worked. She ended up getting a C-section.
Yeah.
They're there for the birth of the baby. Sean is the first person to hold the baby after it's born. I think he was, other than a doctor.
I don't know that he was. I mean, we see him hold the baby, but I don't know if he was necessarily the first.
Then they cry, yada yada yada.
They is the 4 of them. Yes.
They kiss in a circle, I guess. Whatever
They don't kiss in a circle at all.
Whatever they do, and they're off during their off time, and they pretty much take the baby home.
Yeah. And then there's discussions around how they're all going to work as a unit for this baby. They repeatedly say that it's nicer to have all this extended help when it comes to raising the kids. Granted, they have how many kids now? 5?
5, 6.
They got the 2 that Tyler and Alicia came in with, and then 2 more were born. They don't know who the fathers are, and now baby Quentin is number 5.
So they also do not want to know
the paternity,
the paternity, the father of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it'd be easier in their minds. They think to parent.
They say it'll help avoid jealousy. That's their biggest determination, is to avoid jealousy at all costs, which is weird to me. It's weird to me that there are topics that you're just not going to broach to avoid conflict when you're in a 4-person dating quad, especially when they keep talking about how transparency and communication is so key.
So, Alicia and Tyler go shopping.
Yeah, they
for
get
the
baby clothes. And Alicia is living her best life because unlike Sean, Tyler will actually engage and shop with her and like look at stuff.
Taya and Sean are back at the house trying to put together the room, but she wish it was Tyler there helping her put the room
I
together.
have a photo and their names.
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
But basically, Sean kind of talks about how like he can hang up some stuff and like help with decoration, but if they need anything more complex in terms of like literally building something from the ground up, Tyler is that person.
I can understand why there's more animosity between Sean and Tyler
after this episode.
Yeah, Tyler is the one they go to for damn near everything for fun,
for fix-its.
Fix-its.
He's like the nice one.
He's like the man's man.
Well, okay, so that's our theory. Our theory is that because Sean, for some reason, just really has a lot of animosity when it comes to Tyler. And it doesn't seem like it goes the other way. It doesn't seem like Tyler has all of this against Sean. He's more just like lost and confused with the rest of us as to why Sean is just so against him. But they're trying to make it work in their quad. And there's a building animosity between the two because of their whole situation in the previous episode where Tyler was trying to talk to his daughter, Raina, his biological daughter. And Sean was like canceling it, saying that she can't talk and just overriding Tyler hugely. So it's like this build of how they're going to deal with it. Sean doesn't want to deal with it, period. He doesn't want to hear anything. He doesn't feel like any points are going to get crossed, so he just wants to shut it down. And Tyler's like, we really need to come to some kind of compromise. And then we're learning these little details in the process, like Sean saying these little things about how like Tyler can do this and do that, but he can't. It's like, okay, interesting. And yeah, we see instances and examples with the kids where like he's very much giving like family dad and they're excited to be around him. And then when you flip it to Sean, he's very much like the disciplinarian, not quite seen as the fun family guy. Next part.
Yes. That's why I think Sean takes the disciplinary
Role.
managerial role
Mhm.
because that's the only place he fits in.
Okay.
And I think that's the only place they respect him. The women.
I honestly don't know if that is I wonder if it's the easiest place for him to get to, and therefore the respect is associated with it.
I think that's the only role the women respect him in.
Okay.
Because they don't see him as a sex symbol in his mind.
I don't know why you think that. The only person we've heard like glowing reviews about sex with is Taya talking about Tyler. We haven't heard Alicia say anything yet.
You can tell by the way he can't even look at Tyler sometimes. It infuriates him.
But I also wonder if that's
it has
something
a lot
else.
it has a lot to do with everything.
Okay.
It's just another thing on top of
everything else.
You fast forward, I guess the baby has to go to hospital for some reason.
No, it's regular checkups. They're doing because remember the baby's underweight, but it's their regular interval checkups for the newborn.
The baby's having a checkup because the baby's having a little bit of health issues. He's not really.
He doesn't have health issues. He's having really trouble latching on.
He's really not
breastfeed
like he should, or not getting nutrients he needs. All the nutrients he should.
Right. Taya's having difficulty with breastfeeding.
So they take him to the hospital. They found he's okay. They just got to, I guess, figure out.
They did their regular natal checkup. It's their regular newborn checkup. That's how they got how big the baby is, what the baby's weight is, what the inches, like how long this baby is. And then they also get some more information. But so the issue is that it's Taya and Tyler that went to the appointment because Sean and Alicia were not available to go. So Tyler takes it upon himself to share with them what they learned during the appointment.
And he accidentally shares the blood type, which
Sean is like immediately reactive to.
He is infuriated.
Yeah. So it turns out they didn't realize this, but you can tell from blood type. You can tell parentage from blood type, which I thought made sense when you do genetic testing. Because what did they pull for your genetic testing? Blood. Anyway.
So only Sean knew that information, apparently.
I think Sean is the critical thinker. So I think he immediately went to Google. So they found out the baby's blood type is B. Only one person in their quad has B type blood.
No, that's
Tyler.
He's O negative.
Oh, I don't remember. Who's B? Sean's B?
Yeah.
Somebody is B. And it's not it's not the baby. He's O negative. Okay. Oh, I found a little chart to show you how that works.
I don't care. I probably did all those charts when I was in high school.
You probably did. Did you ever do the blood test in science where you prick your finger and you check?
No, they gave us DNA codes we had to figure out. To
DNA,
make that,
like a sequence?
Yeah, sequence to figure it out. And I passed.
That's cool.
And I didn't care anymore because I'm like, I will never use this in my life. So it doesn't matter.
Interesting.
Until now.
So, okay, you said Sean is the B. The baby is O negative. The only person who in the quad who's O negative is Tyler.
Tyler, yes.
Okay. But that's because him and Taya are both B. Not Tyler, but Sean and Taya are both B. And that's how he knows it has to be Tyler who's the father. Because two parents that are B can't make an O negative baby.
Everybody else is B and A.
Right.
And Sean's the only O.
Right. But did you know that if you have a parent that's type A and you have another parent that's type B, you can have an O baby?
I told you that. You didn't believe me.
No, I mean, that's true, but that's not their situation because Taya and Sean are the same blood type. That's why he was like, I can't be the parent, the paternal father for this child.
Short story long, Sean ain't the daddy.
And he's upset.
And now that's...
And it's another thing that Tyler is doing to him.
Pretty much the camel that's almost breaking.
It's breaking. It's crumbling.
It's about to break the camel's
back.
back.
To go full dust.
It's the what?
Straw.
It's one of the many straws that's about to really break this camel back. And the camel is laying down right now.
It is interesting that the show kind of really prioritizes, really focuses that Sean wanted to have a family with Taya. But it is interesting to me that it doesn't seem like it's been satiated, like that need's been satiated with as many kids as they have. And I also wonder if that's because they don't know the paternal fathers of the children. And I can understand that they were like, I kind of don't want to know because it'll cause conflict. But at the same time, clearly they all want to know.
That's what it is. And it's like I told you, I only think he's one of those kids' father. I think all those kids are Tyler's.
I do wonder if the son that Alicia has, because that's the only son that doesn't kind of look like Tyler. I think his name is Carver. He's got the lighter hair. I wonder if that is Sean's. He's the only kid that doesn't look like Tyler. Everybody else really looks like Tyler.
And he wears glasses, right?
No, I'm not talking about the one with the glasses. I'm talking about the other one.
Okay, the other baby.
Yeah, but he's got longer hair and his hair is like really light brown.
The other handheld baby.
Mm-hmm. Alicia's son. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think he, deep down in his soul, he knows that probably it's a good chance that none of the kids are his.
I feel like this also really demonstrates that that all relationships require a lot of communication, let alone a quad of people. Because now we're only 2 episodes in, and we've learned that Alicia has insecurities about the sex life of her partners. We've learned that Sean feels a way about Tyler in a big way. Like they have a huge competitive vibe between the two of them for some reason. We've learned that Taya seems to be soaking up the most attention in this quad between everybody. And like Tyler is just happy to be there. Like that's what we've been learning.
I don't know why people think conversations aren't going to be harder when you introduce more people to your relationship. I don't understand why they don't think that. It's hard with 2 people.
I think they feel like because it's harder with more people, that makes them like a little more elevated, like a little more evolved.
They think they can talk to somebody else and that person will go and probably talk to the other person for them to be like the...
Oh, you think it'd be a delegation of information?
And it's not that way.
I wonder if people are looking at it like they're puzzle pieces. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're like, this part will be shared with this person and then this other part will be shared with this person. But that's not how people work.
No.
We're not usually able to segment our lives like that. And it is interesting that they talk about how they had to untrain themselves for a lot of different things, which I get because like societally, there's a lot of things that you automatically learn as you adapt with society in terms of like monogamous relationships and whatever. But it is interesting to me how ingrained that is and how they recognize it's ingrained. But at the same time, they're like, but we're going to work around it. But they're also not working around it. Like when you pointed out Alicia was fully crying as she talked calmly about being intimate with partners. I was like, okay.
So after that debacle, they go and I guess they normally do like a dodgeball night.
They do something. They just happen to go on dodgeball night.
So they went on dodgeball. They went to
it's an indoor dodgeball place.
They went to an indoor dodgeball place.
And immediately they were like, we're a quad. We're a PolyFamily. And the people, they were like, okay.
Who cares?
So here's the rules for the dodgeball.
Let's play some dodgeball. So it ain't...
My favorite was the lady at the shop, though. That was my favorite one.
It ain't crazy that Sean just pretty much threw all his balls at Tyler and missed every time, and Tyler really didn't move.
They go to the kids, and Raina, the daughter that got in trouble, was like, yeah, the dads are super competitive. Like, we'll play games, and then if one wins, they want to play again until the other one wins, and then they want to have a tiebreaker. Like, they're very, very competitive. But she says that Tyler usually wins. And then we see another instance where Tyler wins.
So, needless to say, Tyler doesn't get...
Tyler is a man.
Tyler doesn't get Sean out. One of the kids hit Sean. But Sean is trying to
No,
kill
Tyler did get Sean out.
No, it was one of the kids that hit him. Because when he was trying to throw at Tyler, one of the kids hit him with the ball. He tried to catch it, but he couldn't.
Ah.
So then he sachets off.
And he had like 3 balls he was hauling at Tyler. And Tyler was dodging all of them.
And Tyler was kind of close. He was kind of close. He wasn't that far away.
Right.
Kind of close. So he sachets over to the other part of the play area where the 2 youngest are.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to watch them. He gets huffy and puffy.
Yeah.
Then finally he goes, I want to leave.
But he's huffy and puffy because he found out of the paternity results of their latest kid.
So he's like, it's time for the youngest ones to go to bed and go to sleep. So I'll take them.
But everything about their outing is pissing Sean off. Like, Tyler's wearing a dad-ass shirt.
Yes.
It's an innocent shirt that just says dada. And he's rubbing it in my face that he's the father of this child. And it's like, is he? Is he rubbing it in your face?
Oh, man!
He really is upset.
So he pretty much yank up the kids.
Yeah. We're done. And it just
sachets off.
Snatches them kids out. I'm going to the car.
To the van and drives off.
They're like, okay. And that van is huge.
Huffing and puffing the whole way. Damn near hits a parked car, but whatever. And Tyler's like, okay.
There's things I'm noticing, though, the more we're watching this and the more we're seeing how uncomfortable Sean is with Tyler. Like, Sean's tattoos look very new. They're still shiny. They're still very darkly shaded. And Tyler has a full sleeve of tattoos, and they're faded. They're, like, older. It's very interesting.
So...
We also have Alicia trying to get in on the baby stuff, too.
So you have Alicia who decides she wants to breastfeed too.
Her decision, in my opinion, came from a place that made sense. In my opinion, she talks about how, like, her being pregnant during her pregnancy made her and Taya kind of squash the beef between them because they had a lot of conflict trying to make this quad work. And at first, it was the women that were fighting the most. But they squashed it when she became pregnant. Taya became like her right-hand girl when it came to trying to take care of her during her pregnancy. And then later, after she gave birth. And it kind of worked the other way when Taya got pregnant with her kid. And Alicia was there to help her. But what Alicia took away from those experiences was that the babies that they birthed tend to favor their birth mother. They don't necessarily equally value all of the parents in their quad. And that's something Alicia hopes to change with Quentin. She's hoping Quentin will bond with both Taya and herself, in addition to the other guys. And she wants to work towards that. And one of the ways she wants to work towards that is breastfeeding, because Taya is really struggling with trying to breastfeed. And Alicia's like, that's something I could do. I think we should meet with a lactation consultant, and we can work towards, getting my boobs ready to have milk so that I can also breastfeed with you.
Whatever.
Sean is disgusted.
Whatever. Sounds like she's going to pop her titty out so the dudes can look at it.
Not really.
That's what it sounds like.
She doesn't need a baby to do that. Anyway.
She's mad because Alicia popping her titty out and all the dudes are sitting there like,
No, I think
that's what it is.
I think her concern is the kids again, because they're all this latest baby is the last baby, and I think she wants to be just as involved in this child as she is with all the other ones.
While that's going on, Taya talks to Sean and says, hey. She tells Alicia that, hey, Sean is feeling this way because of what happened with the
blood test.
The blood test. She's like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I was with him. I didn't really think about it, put 2 together.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now Taya's trying to talk to Sean. You need to go talk to Tyler, and you guys need to work this out, whatever.
He doesn't want to
figure it out.
She also talks to Tyler, and she's like, hey, it really hurt Sean's feelings when you pointed out the blood type of the baby. And he's looking at her so lost. He's like, why? Why would he be upset? And she's like, because he could tell paternity from that blood test. And Tyler's like the look on his face, it was very much like an innocent kid being like, oh no. Like, it was like he definitely did not mean it. but it happened. But also he's a little elated because now he knows he's the father of Quentin.
So I don't think it was accidental.
I do. I think it was accidental because he gave a lot of what you normally get with a newborn checkup. It wasn't like particularly singular information at all.
If you could do something messed up, you know how to make it look like it was an accident.
They also have a sip and see where they invite all their family to come meet the baby at one time. And they reiterate how Taya's family is the most welcoming of them as a group, a romantic quad. But they struggle with everybody else's family. Sean doesn't have much family that's alive. Tyler got his sister and her black boyfriend to come down, but his mom is still a struggle. She still is not on the same page about his current relationship status. And none of Alicia's family show up. They're currently not talking to her. And I found it interesting that Tyler and Alicia particularly, are very sad that their families aren't as on board as Taya's. Like, I think they miss that, having their family on the same page with them moving into the squad.
And that's pretty much
PolyFamily. What did you think of Sean being so
Season
disgusted
2.
about Alicia wanting to breastfeed? He was so disturbed that she wanted to do this.
I feel the same way too. 'Cause I'm like, why are you doing this?
But my thing is, in the context of them all being a quad, why was that the weird thing? Why was that the weird thing?
But like you said, why was it weird? I 100% agree with you. That shouldn't have been weird. That should have been
Confused.
almost kind of expected.
Like, if you were in a monogamous relationship and that was your friend who's like, I'll help you, I'll also breastfeed him. Like, okay, yeah, that's strange, but she's a romantic
And
partner.
that's how it sounded like he was coming at it.
Yeah, it did. Like, this outsider just wanted to be in on the business. It was
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? Confused. Sean, to me, is a walking red flag. In this quad or group, people or whatever, to me, I feel like Sean's the most problematic. I feel like the 2 episodes that we got, I think he got into it because he kind of felt like he can control different aspects of it. But there's a human factor that they, for whatever reason, they are not taking account of whatsoever.
I think him and Alicia are the practical ones.
Okay, practical's fine. I said red flag.
Yeah, I think they both are.
Why is Alicia a red flag?
Because I don't think she knows if she wants 100% be in this. The way she talks,
Okay.
she just she does things to so people will like her.
Okay.
I don't think
She said she acknowledges she's a people pleaser.
so. Once again, is this how you really feel, or just how you think people want you to feel?
I would love to know what they gain by being in the quad, other than having multiple partners. How else does this sustain you as a person? Is what I would probably ask. Like, for Taya, I get it.
I understand for Taya, it's perfect.
Yeah, for Taya, it's perfect.
For everybody else, and for Tyler, it's probably perfect because he is whatever.
He's a go with the flow. Yeah.
He's a whatever.
Yeah. He reminds me of Matt, of just like being happy to be there, happy to be included. That's kind of what he reminds me of.
The other two, I don't. What's the point for them?
Okay. I mean, even them together, like, we get to see Sean and Alicia together in like a couple dynamic. It doesn't feel like it's a couple.
It feels, yeah, they do. They feel like a couple who just accepted to be with each other.
Who settled?
Who settled.
Okay. Not romantic at all. They're just partners.
No one wants to admit they settled.
Okay. Well, they kind of didn't. You know what I mean? They kind of didn't. But I do kind of feel bad for Alicia. I feel like she doesn't get to have the desirable portion of whatever this is. Like, that's all Taya, in my opinion.
Because she doesn't know what she wants.
I
What
agree.
she's looking for.
I agree. All right, I'm ready to move on.
90 Day Fiance season 11, episode 12. Blinded by the love. Walked up like a douche and in the run of the night. Blinded by the love.
This is vocal stimming.
Sure. Dr. Phil, Mrs. Phil.
I'll Google it for you. Go ahead.
Whatever. Don't Google nothing for me. Mark and Mina. I don't even remember what happened.
Mina goes to meet up with Mark's friends, quote unquote. And it's like these ladies in a crochet circle, which is adorable. They're doing like a sip and crochet, and they get to know Mina a little bit more, and then they raise holy hell because Mina basically discloses that like it's been hell for her since she got here. He wants a prenup. The family doesn't really like her. She is alone. She is isolated. She can't work.
First of all, she got lost in the wilderness like Sleeping Beauty. Let's just
You mean
start
Snow
there.
White?
Snow White. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Right.
right. Snow White. She got lost in the wilderness like Snow White.
She's asking rabbits, "Do you know the way?"
And they be like, "Bitch, no. I just came out from Chico sticks and some condoms. Since I came out here.
Not Chico sticks and
I
condoms.
just came out here. That's why I'm out here." So where you going at? You going to the old maid's house? You looking for the old maid's house?
Here, that's what vocal
Take two
stimming
lefts.
is. Vocal stimming, in case you guys did not know, is also known as auditory stimming. It's a self-stimulatory behavior that involves making sounds with the vocal cords, mouth, or lips in a way for individuals, especially those with autism or to be on the spectrum, used to self-soothe, regulate sensory input, or express emotions.
I'm gonna ask like everybody else, what the hell I got to do with 90 Day Fiance?
You sang the song at the beginning. That's how it relates. Learning new things every day.
See,
Welcome to We Like That podcast.
And this is why people stop doing what they love. Because other people kill their joy.
Why is it killing joy?
This is why the world's the way it is.
I'm just saying, look, I've discovered something new.
Everybody got a phone. They all think they can diagnose motherfuckers.
We've been together for years. I never realized that I could attribute that particular characteristic to what you do, because you do it a lot.
People don't need to know how to leave well enough alone. They just want to have answers to every goddamn thing instead of just letting.
Maybe you don't need to know answers to everything.
Just letting things be.
Anyway.
Fuck, now I'm fucked up my goddamn joy. I'm cussing. I haven't cussed the whole time. Now I'm cussing.
Anyway, Mark and Mina. So yeah, Mina is sharing with these older white women, these liberal older white women in New Hampshire, how like she kind of feels stuck. She kind of feels lost. And they are guns a-blazing for her. They're like, listen, you need to tell Mark this and that. How dare he? Not a prenup. Make sure he takes care of you. It's almost like these ladies had a flashback themselves of being younger and kind of being stuck in a marriage. One lady starts crying. And she's like, you need to make sure you're taken care of and your kids are taken care of for sure.
I want to know how many of these people were picked by Mark and was picked by the show. The show.
As friends.
There's no way Mark picked these people.
We haven't met a friend yet. I don't know.
The only people that have been in Mark's corner is his family, and even his mother has wavered from time to time.
That's true.
All his friends are against him.
I don't know about against him as much as they're like, he's dumb. So make sure you do this and this. Make sure you protect yourself.
Like I said, against him.
Mm-hmm.
As pretty much it was a empowerment session for her.
Yeah. But also to let her know, like, you're not crazy. It is weird. It is odd that you have to do what you're doing.
Then her and Mark go to dinner. And I think
that's pretty much it.
She starts to tell Mark that she'll sign a prenup under one condition.
Yeah, he adopts her kids.
And that's where we leave it.
Yep.
Amani, Ani, and Matt.
We're still on the train of Amani being a mess. She has decided that in order for Matt and Ani to get on the same page, they need to go on a one-on-one date. Because after she dropped the news bomb that Ani's more in love with her than she is with Matt, this is how she's going to rectify that situation. I would like to remind everybody that when we started this season, Amani lost her shit because Matt and Ani were too close. So it's very strange.
Either Ani pretends like she doesn't understand English that well. It is a mastermind. A mega mind, as they will call her. Or she is just, she doesn't know. She's confused.
Right.
I'm going to say the latter.
With the rest of us. Because when it first started, it for sure looked like Ani preferred Matt to Amani. So much so that Amani got upset. And like was basically like, I'm ready to call it quits. And Ani in distress was like, I love you more. But now she's like, no, it's fact now. And I need to make sure that they're all on the same page. Because now Matt's upset about it being a fact. I did find it interesting that Matt kept changing Ani's statement Amani told him that Ani said that she was more in love with her than him, which then for Matt changed to she's not in love with him at all. She's just in love with Amani. And then it changed to she might have some feelings for Matt, but she mostly has feelings for Amani. And when he confronts Ani with it, she's like, no. Actually, she says, yeah, I do have more of an emotional connection to Amani than I do you. And he goes, well, let's change that. And they go right back to being like cutesy, affectionate couple, which we saw at the beginning.
So pretty much Ani is pretty much doing the same thing she's doing. She hasn't really changed anything.
Yeah. But I guess Amani feels like she put it in place, so now she feels better about it.
And
But
Matt is back in a happy place.
yeah.
So
But that's about to change because Amani has a new project.
So now Amani wants to meet some guy named...
She wants to meet Ani's ex, this guy named Ray, who apparently, according to them, they've sent money to Ani throughout the relationship, but they've had to send it through whatever joint bank account Ani has with Ray in order for her to receive it. And they were like, why does this guy need to be involved in these transactions like this? Why can't it be direct? And she tells Matt that she can't talk to Ani about this directly because, according to her, Ani's not going to tell her the story. So they need to meet Ray themselves, like behind Ani's back, to get this information. Matt, understandably, is concerned. He's like, why would we do this? For what? And she's just like, we have to close that chapter if we're going to go to Guadalajara and then get married to this girl.
Yeah, you're fucking up my flow. That's pretty much Matt's thing.
We also see like a little bit of the meet where Ray comes and he's like, yeah, I know her as Brenda. And they were like, wait, what? Who's Brenda? So
I'm assuming that's the name Ani gave him.
also, Ray does not look like he's an ex. It doesn't make sense. He looks like he was a client or her pimp. One of the two. A bookie? Something.
I think a bookie. Greg and Joanne.
Joan
is happy. The end.
Joan has to wash dogs. She's very confused why we're doing this. Greg gets the job from New York State, to work as their plumber or electrician or whatever he's doing over there. Facilities manager.
He's not a manager. He just works in facilities.
But he's like, I got the job. And Joan goes, that's great. Actually, she doesn't even say that. She just goes, all right. Like, because she's been praying on it. She goes to give him a high five and he scoops her into a hug. It was hilarious.
Now I can sit this poo-tang on your face.
And she's logical about him getting this job. She's like, great. He's working. We can start to save more and we can move forward in trying to get our own space. She doesn't say immediately we're moving out. She doesn't say I need to be at this particular level. She's so logical and rational. I appreciate it.
She said, now you can eat these groceries like you really want to. You hardworking man, you.
So, I was going to call him Mark. Greg takes her to New York. And they have a cutesy little time. And then he gets a hotel room so that they can like really celebrate and enjoy each other.
Motel, Holiday Inn.
It's a cute little spot. It was cute. He gets little rose petals and everything. He's all romantical. It was cute.
Greg gonna eat them groceries. Maddie and Stevie.
Stevie is crazy. Maddie, run. The end.
So she won't give Maddie a yay or nay if she's bi.
Maddie, I feel like Maddie has a legit concern about her obsession with naked female bodies because she refuses to give him a straight answer as to why this is her invested interest.
His whole thing is like, I just want to know where you stand. So that way, when I make the decision, I can't be mad at you for making this decision.
Because I have the full information.
Yes. And if you decide that you want something different,
right.
It's
not going to blindside me.
Yeah. And it's my fault for going along with this. I should have.
Right.
So I just want to be able to make the decision on my own. Not make a decision and you not tell me anything. And then you be like, spring it on me.
Right. But she gets pissed anyway.
After I asked you this 1,000 times before we got married.
She's like, I don't know why you keep asking me this. And he's like, because you won't answer me. And she goes, fine, I'll say no. How about that? And he goes, is it a no?
Then he has his little sidebar and he goes, look, I know when she's vehement about something.
Uh-huh.
She swears, she says all this stuff that I know she means it.
Right. It's sincere and genuine. Absolutely.
It's sincere and genuine. She hasn't said none of that.
Right. She's just bothered.
She's way more flippant.
It's not a straight answer at all. She's like, I really wish he would drop it. And it's like, he would drop it if you give him a straight answer. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's it, and that's all. He truly does not understand why you're so into women's bodies, but not a bisexual. He's very confused by it.
Aaliyah and Sean. Sean just won't leave.
Oh, you skipped Shekinah?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to go Shekinah and Stopper are over.
Are they? I don't know. Question mark asterisk. Shekinah's taking me out. I can't believe I'm on Sarper's side. I cannot believe that. He said some crazy stuff in their fight. But he's the first one to like broker the peace. They haven't been talking for a little bit. He comes back to the house to have a real conversation with her. He's like, we need to figure out what we're doing moving forward. We can't just stay not talking to each other. I want to talk, and I want you to talk so that we can figure this out. Shekinah goes, you talk first. He goes, okay. He talks first, and I thought he did a decent job of explaining where he's at in terms of his mood. He's like, I've been depressed, and I'm homesick. I'm away from everything. I can't work. I'm kind of aimless. I don't have any of my routines. If you've been watching 90 Day Fiance, you know that Sarper has OCD. He has these moments where he's super stressed and he'll just count everything. And he doesn't feel better unless he counts everything. But he also has talked about how important routine is for him in order to feel good. And he doesn't have any of that now that he's in LA. And especially around Shekinah, he's not a priority for her. She has her business. She tells him to get lost and do stuff, but he can't go that far. He can't go that far.
She won't allow him to
be independent.
She won't allow him to make a new
life.
You say he has a regimen.
Routine.
She won't allow him to make a new routine that he can stick to.
Mm-hmm.
Because
she will allow it, but it just needs to be stuff that she's okay with.
No, yeah, and it has to be. You're right. It has to be.
She has to make his routine. Basically.
Exactly. It has to be centered around her.
Yeah.
So let's say he starts a routine that he wants on his own, just to have his own time.
Yeah.
She'll probably interrupt that, and then he has to recalculate himself.
Yeah, but he also does not have space for himself anywhere. He doesn't have space to just be for himself anywhere. Everything's in her home for her work. He's not allowed to be around that home when she is working, which is a majority part of that day. She wants
them to be relying on him without
relying on her.
Being relied on her without.
But she also kept saying that he needs to be a manly man, and it's like, what do you think that is? An emotionally stunted person? What do you think it is?
She wants him to be relying on her without her making him a priority.
Which is weird. That makes sense. She wants him to prioritize her for sure, but she doesn't want to do it the other way around.
Yes. Because now she's too busy.
And now she feels like he's too in his feelings. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, depressed. What are you depressed about? He left everything?
She went from a man who doesn't show any emotions.
Except anger.
And now she wanted emotions. Now she's getting emotions, and now she don't.
Now it's a problem also.
Now she don't know how to handle it.
It's a problem as well. She's like, I don't understand why you keep blaming me for stuff, yada, yada, yada. To Sarper's credit, he says, yeah, I did blame you for a lot of my mood, but that was because I couldn't do a lot of different things. But also when I try to talk to you about it, you're very dismissive. And you're very flippant. And she's like,
dismisses everything
get over
you said.
Yeah. She immediately goes, get over it. You miss your family? Grow up. So it's just like,
he goes,
like, wait, what?
He goes, you don't compromise. You do zero compromising.
Now, he does go crazy and say, old Shekinah would have bent over backwards and did everything I said. She was so submissive. I miss that Shekinah. That was crazy.
No.
But to play devil's advocate, that was what he was presented with. That's how he got to know Shekinah.
And it was more about that's the only way he could express himself. Mm-hmm. He didn't know the words.
I agree.
So it came out like that.
I agree.
Blunt.
I agree. I don't think that was necessarily his intention. It was but it was him saying, like, we used to get along, and now we don't. You don't even listen to me.
And I've done everything you wanted me to do, and it
then
still hasn't done anything.
Yep. You're saying I still haven't sacrificed enough for you. It's like,
He said, I used to do this, and I got this result. I used to do this, and this happened.
Yeah.
Now, it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, so I just give up.
Yeah. And I can't believe that I side with Sarper. The whole time, Shekinah is just like, whatever, I gotta go. I have to leave. Like, she's very dismissive of the points that he brings up. In her mind, he's not understanding where she's coming from, and she's in the right. And it's the same thing for him. In his mind, she's not understanding where he's coming from, and he's in the right. But I feel like Sarper is more amenable to say where he's also wrong at, and Shekinah is not.
I think he's more about, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm right. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
And and how I got here.
Yeah.
So how are we going to fix it?
Yeah.
How are we going to help me deal with it?
Right.
I need something to do.
Right.
What can I do?
Right.
And she goes, I don't care.
Right. Figure it out.
What have you done to me? Have you apologized to me? And he goes,
what are you talking about right now?
What is going on?
Right.
I told you I need help.
Right. I've told you several times now.
And your answer to is, what am I do for you?
Right.
I can't do nothing for you because I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Right.
That's the issue. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with myself. I can't be good at you when I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And she's like, whatever. I'm going upstairs. And that pretty much ends that scene with them. And I think they're over. They're done.
Who knows with this show?
They're done.
Especially now that we know that spinoff is happening.
Sure.
That dating spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaliyah and Sean
is a waste of time.
Sean don't want no woman.
Listen, Aaliyah has been a woman this entire time. She's been gradually embracing even more of her feminine self, to include transitional surgery. Sean knew that this was on the horizon. He knew it was coming. She had talked about it here and there. He got upset when she talked about it. But now they're going to actually see the doctor, and he's more and more like, oh, I don't know.
No.
I don't know if that could be with a woman again.
I don't want you to get a sex change. No. I don't want you to get no breasts, and no.
You're changing everything about what I loved you. You loved Douglas. Douglas is not here. He's gone. Aaliyah's here. So what do you want? What do you want to do?
Douglas Aaliyah. I want a Douglas with the characteristics of Aaliyah. That's what I want.
He wants a femboy. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
that's what he wants.
That's what I just said.
Which is not what Aaliyah is.
That's how I said he wanted a Douglas with the aesthetics of Aaliyah.
No, Douglas had the aesthetics of Aaliyah already. The hair, the makeup. Douglas was already doing that.
I think Douglas was feminine, but still.
Douglas was super feminine because Douglas was a girl.
But he was a guy.
Presented as a guy.
Yes, but he was still a guy.
No, presented as a guy because Douglas never felt like a guy. Remember?
Yeah.
And Sean even points out that all of the physicalities he misses that was with Douglas. That's what he misses the most is the physicality.
Yeah. But Aaliyah came.
Aaliyah's always been here. Aaliyah just finally was able to show herself.
And Sean's like, yeah.
Basically, like, why are you still doing this then? Like, you've been saying you don't want to be with a woman. And Aaliyah has been saying, she's a woman. What are you doing? Even your friends and family who met her for the first time were like, what are you doing, Sean?
And
what's happening?
Pretty much Sean's stance is she clipped that wing. She clipped that branch. It's a wrap for me.
Not even the branch. If she decides to grow something, he's like, no.
I don't think he cares about the breast.
Yes, I do. I do think he does. Because he made a point to be like, I'm a pet guy and a butt guy. I'm not a boob guy. I haven't been a boob guy in years.
I didn't hear the pet guy. I heard the peck. I thought he was talking about something else.
No, he's talking about how if she decides to develop physically more and more like a woman, he is out. Whether that's upstairs or downstairs.
My fault. I thought he was talking about something else.
Mm-mm.
He was talking about the chesto areas.
Yes.
Makes sense.
It's crazy. The other part of me is also like, Aaliyah, you know how he is. Like, you purposefully don't talk about certain things around him because you know how he feels about this. Get out, girl. Get out. You made it to America. Find you another one.
Gone, girl. As the little
she's gorgeous. Find somebody else, girl.
And Living Color had the little sketch thing. Gone, girl.
She can do better. You can find somebody else, girl.
Juan Jessica.
Child, why is Juan here?
Vaughn wants to go back
Juan, save yourself.
to the boat. Vaughn wants to go back to the boat.
You can take that L. Just be like, I met somebody. I thought it was a thing. We had a baby. That's it.
Vaughn don't want her.
End it.
Vaughn don't want his bad kid or her extra badass kids. He just want to be on the boat.
He wants the kids, but he also wants his identity back. And a lot of his identity was working. And that was working on the boat.
I guess him and Megan's husband go work out.
Herbie
Hancock go work out. And he lets me know, dude, I missed my job. No, not only that, my boss called me and asked me if I'm coming back.
Yeah, because apparently he's really good at his job.
So,
but Herbie's like, you told Jessica you weren't going on any more boats.
I didn't tell Jessica a goddamn thing, Herbie.
But he also points out though, like, I can't work here. I can't work here. I can't provide here. I'm literally just home all day. I got to do something. I can work on the ship. He's like, I wonder if what he wants to do is get back, do another contract with the ship for like a next year or so and get even more money so that they're that more secure. Which to me makes sense.
I don't know why they just can't move near the water.
She doesn't want to move.
And
remember, the boy's father is there in Wyoming.
Obviously, he doesn't care about you and them damn kids.
We don't know that.
Because he's right up the street.
We don't know that. Stevie has kids. We didn't even know she had them. I'm just saying, they pick and choose what they're going to show.
He right up the street. If he don't come in...
I don't know.
If you got to go take him to him, and he can't come pick him up, and he right up the street, that tells you all you need to know.
There's a woman that works at my work, not in my particular department, but we always see her like around lunch. And she's in a situation where she's basically weaponizing her children. Like, their father is involved in their lives. But she makes his life hell on purpose when it comes to their kids. Like, if he wants to do anything with these kids, she's like, you got to go through me. You got to do.
Sounds like he...
So I'm wondering if it's a similar situation with Jessica.
Sounds like he scolded, he hurt her real bad.
Probably that one.
Or you need to watch who you have sex with.
I think all of the above. I think all of the above. Because you don't know. But I also wonder if that's part of it with Jessica. Because the divorce wasn't her idea.
Sounded to me like he got tired of her and them damn kids.
We don't know. Because he still sees the kids. He still has custody.
Seeing the kids is one thing. You don't have to raise them. You just have to see them.
Do you remember what the custody agreement is?
That means
he's got a lot of time with those boys.
But it's still a return date.
But that's the same thing for Jessica. She also got a return date. You know what I mean?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What she was saying, she was working 2 jobs and taking care of those kids.
She was doing that. But it was to supplement her trips, remember? That's why she was doing all those jobs.
I'm just saying, sounds like me, like either she was taking it to her parents' house.
I'm just saying she can definitely lean into the trope of being the hardworking single mom. Because she is. She's a hardworking single mom. But I also wouldn't be surprised that we're missing out on a lot of context. Because this is a TLC show.
Whatever.
They're going to show us what they want to show us only.
Juan wants to go back to the water.
He's a fish. He needs to be free. No, I think he just wants a job. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's so used to being busy.
He don't want to be in Montana.
See, it feels like it's Montana. It's not. It's Wyoming.
I mean, why? He don't want to be in Wyoming.
I don't blame him.
People in Wyoming don't want to be in Wyoming.
You correct, because they go into Colorado to look at wedding sites, and then Herbie's trying to take him to a different Montana. I think he's trying to take him to Montana. He's trying to take him to a whole other state so they can go gamble.
Whatever.
Because there's nothing in Wyoming.
Wyoming is literally
there's nothing.
Wyoming's literally horse and carriage.
There's nothing there. It's not downtown. So.
And that's all we have for
Juan and Jessica.
And 90 Day Fiance.
No.
No what?
Oh no, I thought we were missing a couple. We're not. We talked about Shekinah Surfer. Yeah, that's it.
Love During Lockup.
Do.
Episode 8.
Oh God.
Wife of Warden.
Warden entirely.
Warden.
Which couple you want to talk about first?
Alexis and Julius. Pretty much she's...
And in parentheses, Ashley.
Whatever. Alexis and Julius. She's pregnant. Her friend come over with a pregnancy test.
You can't say she's pregnant and then her friend comes with a pregnancy test.
And then
she thinks she's pregnant. She's been missing a few periods. She's a deficient typewriter.
So then
So they tested. She is pregnant.
She finds out that her husband
Husband.
Her boy. She found out Julius used to be
I was
an
going to say
expiring
boyfriend, right?
He used to be an expiring rapper.
You need to roll this back a little bit. First of all, she's hoping that Julius doesn't have any more women. She found out about Ashley. She's upset about it.
Need to say that part because we know that's not true.
Okay, anyway, but that's what she says. Then she also talks about how she's struggling financially because he ain't got no job. Julius goes on a tirade about how like he just don't be holding jobs. Okay, he's not that type of person. He likes fast money. He likes fast cash.
And he got the bars of Jay-Z, so he can.
And Alexis is like, we need that fast cash to pay this rent because I am struggling right now. And he's like, well, I got to get back in the studio.
Don't worry, I got it.
I wish you would. I wish a nigga would tell me he can't work because he's going to the studio.
Yeah, it's what? All. Yeah, you wish a nigga would until that nigga come home with them Benzes and the matches. Then you
what?
Then you right there sitting down, trying to be cute, right?
What?
Right?
Whatever. Insane. Anyway, and she wants to be pregnant by this. She keeps saying the right things, like how she wants them to be, secure financially. She wants to have all this other stuff in place before they start having kids. But she does say she wants to have this man's kids. Why? She wants somebody who don't hold a job, got out of prison, and cheated on her, all within that short amount of time. So that she can have babies with them? Anyway.
Whatever. So I got all this stuff. I'm going to start trying to get my singing career off the ground. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit my job. I don't like my 9 to 5.
I like your ball player dream.
I'm going to sing. That's what I'm doing.
I prefer your ball player dream.
Me and R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying, can get in the studio. I can get on his song right quick.
His song?
Yeah, he got a song. He got a song out.
What's his song?
I don't know. I wasn't checking for it.
Oh, okay.
But it's about how people did him wrong in jail. How he got there. I think it's like the basis.
You don't know, but you do know?
I heard people talking about it. That's how I found out he had a song.
Very interesting.
So her friend comes over, brings a pregnancy test. Then they decide to go do a who ride by the studio, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They pull up. Julius pull up, and him and 2 bitches get out the car. And she goes, "Who's these hoes?"
It does look like Julius is on a double date. It does look like
her girlfriend go, I didn't want to get in the fight, but hell, why not? These girls look young as hell.
Yeah. Well, okay, Calvin thinks they look young as hell, but they all the same age.
Whatever. And we leave it at him looking stupid in the parking lot.
What do you think he's gonna say? What do you think he's gonna say?
He ain't gonna say that. He gonna jump in the car and drive the hell off.
Oh gosh.
He gonna leave everybody in the parking lot. That's what's gonna happen.
He's the most goofy person. Why are you doing this to yourself, girl?
And 2, I'd be like, these are video vixens for my new video. I just did a song. It's hot. It's already popping.
Well, I want to know why you doing this to yourself. Why are you putting yourself through this, girl? For what?
Because she has no has no self-esteem.
Oh god.
Will and Courtney, they get married. She says yes.
Even though she's like, I don't know this man.
But
we just met.
But it's not legal.
But also yes.
It's not legal. They
exchanged scrunchies.
They did scrunchies, so it's not legal.
That's not. You realize the trading of the rings is not what makes it legal either, right?
It's not legal. If you don't have
paperwork is what makes it
legal. If you don't have rings, it's not legal.
Rings aren't the end all be all.
No one believes that. So, they leave.
Do you even have your original ring?
They leave. They drop her mom off to the airport.
He doesn't have it. That's what that means.
After they almost run into a car, and then she tells them a horrific story of her car accident.
A horrific story of how she had a boyfriend. They got turned up. They were either high, drunk, or both. And he rounded off the road. It was a crazy accident. She busted her forehead wide open. They show the picture. You can see her brain.
This dude jumps up and just takes off.
It leaves her in a pool of her own blood.
In a full sprint. I gotta find Bubba!
No, I got warrants. That's what he said.
I got warrants.
But she was like, yeah. And she continued to date that man for like another 2 more years. Anyway. Which is insane. But yeah, and we didn't even notice her scar at first, but now you can't miss it. So all of that. She actually has a nice little goodbye with her mom at the airport. And her mom has turned her opinion on Will and is like, I think he actually is a good influence for Courtney. I'm glad he's going to be in her corner. And then Will has to drop Courtney off at the halfway house for the night.
Drops her off, gets back to his room. He calls her. She sounds funny. He thinks she's on that shit.
She starts, first of all, she laughs like a demon. And then she can't say words. Like, she starts to slur her words. And she starts to repeat different words. And he's like, okay, she's on something. She might be drinking. She might be doing the stuff. So the next day, he's like, yeah, last night, were you drinking or doing the stuff? And she goes, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you ask me these questions? And that's where we ended. No answer. No answer. Just her being upset.
Yeah. Kiana and Demondrick. They go make cakes. Demondrick puts
the ring. He has his Big Mama's ring in one of the cakes.
And it's a promise ring. He gives her a promise ring. He promised to be true to her.
So Calvin didn't know this was a promise ring until the producers were like, why didn't you say, will you marry me?
I told you it was a promise ring.
You told me that after they said it.
Oh my God. Here we go again. I told you he's playing house.
That part you said. You said he's playing house.
That's a promise ring. I'm like, he's not going to marry her. That's a promise ring.
But the way he says it, I can understand why you would think it was a proposal.
He never said, will you marry me?
He never said that.
He said, I promise to try to be faithful.
He said, I want us to promise each other that we're going to be together forever. He says that.
Promise, not married.
But he's also got the ring in his hand and he knows she wants to get married. But he's like, no, this is more a promise ring for the future.
Once
and it's
again,
like, what?
It's
also, he doesn't clarify this to her. He clarifies it to us, the audience.
Once again,
does not clarify it to Kiana.
It's a female wanting something so bad, she doesn't listen to what he actually says.
Negative. He absolutely played in the gray for that. He knew that she was going to see it as one thing.
There's no gray.
And he knew he could also then be like, technically,
he said,
I didn't say this.
He said promise.
He played in the gray.
The whole time is promise that we'll be together.
He played in the gray.
Promise.
He played in the gray.
There's no gray about that.
There absolutely is.
If you come to me with a ring and say, I promise to be with you, I'm like, promise? Oh. And so this is a promise ring.
He didn't say I promise. He made it sound like it was a speech about them being together.
Yes.
He didn't just sit down and be like, I promise to be with you. He didn't do that.
It's literally him saying, I promise to be with you, try to be with you forever.
That's our summation.
That's what he mainly said.
That's our summary, but he definitely set this up. The reveal, having them sit down where they were, he made it a whole event. And it definitely leaned towards more proposal than anything else. She has been desperate for a proposal and a ring. And he knows that. When his dad gave him the ring, it was for a proposal. He said, this is for you to propose.
Just because he told me what he wanted me to do don't mean I got to do it.
Okay, that's fair. But what I'm saying is he knew that she was going to read all of that into what he was doing. He knew that.
That's not my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault. I'm saying that's how he was playing in the gray.
That's not
his fault.
You're
saying he was being very tactical and very clear, and he was not.
That's not his fault. He told it what it was. Promise.
Not really.
He said promise.
He did say that word.
Did he say, I want to marry you?
Did he say this is a promise ring?
Yes.
When did he say that explicitly?
This
when
ring,
did he said this is a promise ring?
This ring right here, this means I promise. He said that. He literally said that.
Say it again, Calvin.
He said, this right here is for me saying I promise to be, that we going to be together forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put some, I'm not going to lie to you, he put some sugar on top.
My point is, he did not clearly say this is not a proposal. This is a promise.
He said promise. That's what I'm saying. He said promise.
He said the word promise.
Yes.
That's
the only word he said.
My point was he played in the gray so that he could say, technically, I never said, will you marry me? That's my point. And you're reiterating that that's exactly what he did.
Yes. Yes. Did he play in the gray area? You're correct. He played in the gray area. But it's a gray area because she, in her mind, made it a gray area.
I do not support this ideal that she played herself.
Yes.
By herself.
No, she didn't. It's not my fault that you're not listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth because you have some ideas in your head. No matter what they are, Even though you have a track record of everything else I've done,
I hear
which has been
what you're saying.
shady as hell.
I hear what you're saying. It's more of him playing house, like you were saying before. I hear what you're saying.
So now,
But I'm saying, from Kiana's point of view, I can absolutely see how she's thinking we're getting married.
I can't. I'm sorry. Not with the history. I can't. Well, you know what? I take that back. You're kind of right. Because now he added the ring, so that's a different level.
Do you know what a promise ring looks like? It doesn't look like that ring. Promise rings don't look like that.
It doesn't matter. A lot of things don't look like they're supposed to look like.
But that's what I'm saying. He played around with all of the technicalities of that.
And what I'm saying to you is,
because she's rocking a 2 to 4 carat diamond, which looks like an engagement ring. Supposedly, it's a passed down ring. Real or not,
I would say
she's got a big rock ring.
I'll say this to you.
Promise rings are literally bands.
I understand it. I'll say this to you. I can understand her being misled.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only thing that's different now is he put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm. And he did a whole to-do.
So that can also cloud your judgment a little bit. But what I'm saying to you is, the track record says you should take him as what he's saying.
I also want to point out that the track record started when she was 12. If you want to talk about grooming, her expectation is exactly what he's presented. So again, I don't fault her for thinking that this is where this is particularly headed.
Damn it, I forgot it was a 12. I forgot. God damn it. Thank you, Demadre, for making me look stupid. Thank you for... I had a whole argument. The argument sound crisp. I had everything down to the T. I had a rebuttal for everything until I forgot it was 12.
Oh my goodness.
She wasn't even a teen.
No.
I would like to recall all of my last statements. The views,
upon further review.
The views of We Like That podcast are Javon's alone. And I in no way concur with her and her statements and views or ideals. Moving on to Michael and Joey.
Wait, what did you think of the Joalia of it all, though? The text messages.
It is what it is. That's it.
Do you think she's foul for still trying to move the way she's trying to move with Demadric?
No.
Knowing that he is trying to play house with Kiana?
No.
You don't think it's foul?
No. She's moving the way she's always moved.
Okay.
It's not her fault he keeps coming back.
Part of it is because she keeps that door wide open.
It doesn't matter. I don't care how many doors my exes keep open for me. As long as I don't walk through them, it don't matter.
She's been saying that Kiana is playing herself because she's with somebody who's going to constantly step out. But she wants to do the same thing. So I do think it's foul.
No,
How are you going to try to gain something that doesn't want to be gained? And then if you did somehow manage to gain it, they're going to treat you the same way.
It does. You could be right and still be dumb.
I think it's a little foul the way she's moving.
I think
she went to that family, whatever thing.
She's moving
where they presented Kiana as his fiance. They presented Kiana as the girl he's living with.
She's moving the way she's been moving because he allows her to move that way.
Very interesting.
Period. She won't move that way if he don't allow her to.
But you said he's in a bind because he also needs access to the kids.
It don't. That's why you have a court system.
Yeah, but it's a court system that will work against him.
It's not my fault you can't keep your ass out of jail for the court system working in your favor.
Okay, so how would he use the court system then?
Keep your ass out of jail. Show that you're trying to take care of your kids and she's not letting you see them. Document everything.
Yeah, but we both know that one, that's going to take a lot of time.
It don't matter.
And two, it still may not work in his favor.
You put yourself in his mind. You put yourself in this pickle. Now
body,
deal with it.
Well, that's how he's dealing with it. He's allowing her to flirt and seduce him.
But then don't pretend, and then don't destroy somebody else in the process.
Okay. You're saying get a handle on that over there
act
first.
like this dude don't have options. He has options.
I'm not acting like that dude doesn't have options. I'm asking about it in terms of Joalia.
It doesn't.
She also has options.
It doesn't matter.
I'm confused as to why. Well, I won't say confused. I understand she's in love with him, but I don't understand what she thinks she's going to gain. It's been years.
She's just
Years.
like every other female. I can change him.
Can she?
We know she can't.
Like from her end, even
We know she can't. But she thinking because she got kids and she got a little one, she don't let him see. That will change him.
it's very interesting.
She's playing herself,
that-
just like Kiana's playing herself.
It is
That's
interesting that some of the esteem that Joalia holds is that he had kids with her and he cheated on Kiana twice to be with her. Like that's kind of the esteem she holds around it. But at the same time, he kept going back to Kiana. Like she's still square one every time.
Yeah, and he kept going back to her too.
Only twice.
But he keeps going back to her.
No, remember because there's other baby mamas. He opened that circle. So he went back to her twice for sure. But Kiana stays in the corner, stays in the pocket.
She went back to him. He went with somebody else. It's a circle. That's all it is.
But now the promises he's making is to Kiana. It's not necessarily to Joalia.
Is he really making promises to her?
You just went on a tirade about how he said I promised.
Well,
You just went on a whole tirade.
That's before I had new information.
I'm just saying, do you think he's giving that same speech to Joalia? Because I don't think he is. I don't think he's giving the I promise speech.
He doesn't have to. He's just telling her everything about their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows what's going on. He doesn't have to tell her anything.
He doesn't have to tell Joalia anything?
No. She knows when they break up.
Oh, when Kiana and him break up?
Yeah, she knows when him
No, I mean, do you think he's making the same, like, sweet nothings?
She knows when him and Kiana get in an argument. She's in the relationship.
No, I'm saying, because she wants her own. Like, she wants him for her. Do you think he's making any statements to let her believe that one day it's just going to be the two of them?
He's telling them all of their business in him and Kiana's relationship.
Okay.
So she knows when they get into it. And that's when they get into it, she puts her little 2 cents in. And he probably says, yeah, you're right.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, do you think he's also making the promise, like, I want to be with you forever?
I don't think he's making promises to her.
Okay. That was my question. Do you think he's giving the same spiel of, like, I want us to be together forever?
He's keeping it open. Just like he did when he gave her that text or whatever he's talking to her. He's keeping it open.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I'm just wondering if he's also saying the same things.
He doesn't have to say the same thing to her because she's there. Because they got the
You
kids.
make it sound like she'll pick up whatever the scraps are.
Yes. She's been doing it
But
this
in
whole
order
time.
for her to get the scraps, that means Kiana's the full meal. You know what I mean? Like that means he's giving more energy to Kiana.
First of all,
and she's just getting what she can get.
You're thinking way too deep into this.
I don't think I am.
Yeah, you are. You act like Jawala cares.
She did. She did.
She don't.
Yeah, they showed her when she was crying right after the little barbecue, whatever, saying that she is still in love with him and she's hoping, against hope, that one day he'll come back to the family so they can be a family again.
So guess what? That's all he needs.
But that means she cares. You said she doesn't care. She does.
That's all he needs.
Okay, but you said she doesn't care.
He doesn't have to do anything else. All he has to do is keep stringing her along like he's doing. He don't have to make no promises to her. He don't have to make no thing.
My question was, do you think he is, though?
No.
Like you said, he doesn't have to.
No.
But do you think he is?
No. I think he's been doing what he's been doing, which is saying, just keeping her, letting her know what's going on with his relationship.
I kind of feel like he is. Like you said, he's in a tough spot with the kids.
He doesn't.
And I think he knows the avenue is romance with her.
He doesn't have to.
I agree. He doesn't have to.
She's there.
But we both know he's also not that smart. So I think he would do it.
Okay.
I think he would say the same things to both.
You wasting way too much time into this.
I'm saying I think he's saying the same thing to both ladies.
And he's not. He doesn't have
We
to.
got those text messages.
First
So he's saying something.
Though I'm assuming that was her.
The messages they showed us are from her. But he's saying something for her to do that.
He's just telling her how him and Kiana relationship is going. That's all.
We didn't see that though.
That's what he. If you watch the dynamic from the whole time, all he's been telling her is everything that's been going on with him and Kiana. That's all he's been doing, telling Jawala.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And she's been sitting there steadfast.
I'm just saying her
That's
whole
all.
I'm horny right now, whatever, I need you right now, blah 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 stuff. He's saying something to it.
Sure. Brooklyn and Brian. The strong neck crew. I guess she was the warden one of the
You
wardens.
guess?
She was one of the wardens.
You
in
were
this,
confused? You weren't sure?
episode. His boy comes to pick him up to go take him shopping to get new clothes for his interview.
Oh, you skipped a couple.
Oh.
Michael and Joey.
Michael and Joey.
Go back to your broke neck crew.
So, Brooklyn and Brian. We'll come back to Michael and Joey. Brooklyn and Brian, because that's quick. His boy's trying to take him out to get new clothes for his interview.
Yeah.
She comes down to the car and she's pretty much wanting to when, where, and when. What, where, when.
She knocks on that man's window like she police.
And she wants pertinent information. She wants his social security number.
She gives him orders out the gate. She's like, don't do this, don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. I need you to come correct. I need you to respect me. And he's like, yo, whoa, 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 whoa.
And he pretty
Hello?
much he rolls up his window like, get your girl.
She doing the most. She really is.
She goes to other window and starts talking to him, Brian, and Brian rolls up the window like, let's go.
And then she gets upset because she's like, I don't understand why Brian's letting his friend disrespect me. And it's like, you came in disrespectfully. Immediately you came in disrespectfully. But then to her side, when they do go shopping for clothes, Brian's friend immediately is like, you're in a BBL apocalypse right now, my man. There's plenty of fish in the sea, essentially. You don't have to just settle and play house with what's her face, Brooklyn. You can be out here with these BBLs. And he wants to take Brian to a stripper place.
First of all, I don't understand why
Stripper club.
she's upset. Brian.
She's upset because she doesn't have control of the situation.
Yeah, Brian doesn't even care what he's saying.
He don't. He
He's
really
like,
don't.
Whatever, dude. So that's
we leave it on that cliffhanger. Will he go to the strip club with his friend?
well, they're in the strip club and parking lot at like 10 in the morning. I'll say 12 in the morning.
In the afternoon?
In the afternoon, they're at the strip club sitting there. They're the only one in the parking lot. The security ain't even there yet. Michael and Joey. Joey tells Michael tells Joey that he failed the test.
The UA test, the urine analysis.
Then he goes, just joking. I passed my first
We
test.
all thought he did for real because it was up in the air. We did not know if he was joking, if it was serious.
I guess you got to take the little wins because apparently this is the first test he ever passed, I guess.
Yeah, he says the first time ever that he had a urine test and he passed it. That there wasn't anything in his system. This is the longest he's been clean.
So off to the wicked in-laws house.
Not really wicked.
He gets in there.
Concerned.
Everybody's on sobriety.
And telling him and shoving it down his face.
And he is too much for him.
It's a lot at once for sure.
He let me go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom, goes outside, calls
his friend.
Somebody he's going to bang later on that night. I'm assuming. And he's like, yeah, it's too much. He's
it's
like,
a lot.
Oh, so we still on for night? He's like, yeah. So let me get done. When I get through this, I'll let you know. Hit you up. He's like, okay, cool.
It is interesting that he's complaining to his friend that Joey is boring. Like that's immediately what his friend says. He's like, it's a family of Joeys, and he goes boring. It's like, what? Well, this is why he's still with Joey at this point. Then what are you doing?
So Joey Mom pretty much cries herself into a puddle and like, I just don't
she's
want
concerned
to fall back into the lifestyle you were used to be in.
Yeah, everybody in his family basically goes after Michael for Joey's relapse on meth.
And
Michael's like, I didn't force him to do meth, which is a technical truth. He did not force Joey to do meth.
And they leave it at that. Savannah and Bradley.
My favorite couple.
Savannah.
It's crazy.
Finally got Bradley to go, I can't do this anymore. So
we pick up right after their fight when Bradley took off in her Jeep. Or her mom's Jeep, I guess.
You remind me of my Jeep.
In case you don't remember, Bradley and Savannah were having a fight outside because Savannah was not told that Bradley had a dental appointment. And it's the same day that he's supposed to go see this lawyer for a case he's trying to get drafted. Because he wants to sue, he says the DOC, which is the Department of Corrections. And Savannah was up in arms about him making plans without her, basically. And he's like, it's a dentist appointment.
The other warden in the episode.
And that was the whole conversation she had with his sister and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So he comes back from after that fight and is like, come on, let's go. We're going to be late for our meeting with the lawyer. And she is very reluctant to do it, but she finally gets in the car and they head down there and he's asking her, like, why would you report the car lost or stolen just to get me in trouble on purpose? And she's like, I wouldn't do that. My mom might do it because it's my mom's car. And it's Savannah giving the spiel again about how her mom called the cops on her when she was using and reported stuff stolen. And I'm like, I don't think this is the same context. Because everybody that she complains to about Bradley tells her the same thing. He just got out of prison. He's still getting his bearings. So they go meet with the lawyer at this like public library where Bradley gives his case, and me and Calvin have different opinions on his complaints. But basically, he was saying how like he felt there was an abuse of power.
They're BS.
Yeah, and that there was an abuse of power when he was being held. Because anytime he would file a complaint or try to speak up for himself, there was a retaliation by these guards, I guess, or the officers, where they would single him out. They would do random strip searches on him all the time in front of everybody.
Take that.
And according to the lawyer, like while what they were doing could be considered retaliatory, it was well within their right to do so. They weren't necessarily doing anything against any violations of the constitutional amendments that he has or civil rights. And he's just listening. And to Bradley's credit, he's listening pretty respectfully. He's like, okay, so maybe not this or maybe not that. But he has some other information for them to look into if he wants to continue to pursue it. She does recommend he doesn't, because he doesn't really have anything that's substantial and they could call it a frivolous case. So he's like, okay, well, it's good to know. I'm glad we at least, exercise some of these options. In the midst of them all talking about that, Savannah has not fixed her face and she still looks upset. And when the lawyer asks them if everything's okay, they throw the information about their relationship at this lady hard. They're like, well, and then they just go into this whole thing about how like they were fighting and he feels Savannah's too controlling. And he goes, yeah, I feel like whatever. And to Savannah's shock and horror, the lawyer sides with Bradley. The lawyer is basically like, well, just to give you a frame of reference, he did just get out of prison where they told him what to do at all times of the day, where to eat, when to sit, when to sleep, when to walk this way, walk whatever, blah, 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 blah. He had to ask for permission for everything. So now that he's home, he's kind of in a very similar situation. If you're really that controlling, if you're really telling him what he can and cannot do for a lot of different things. And then the lawyer even goes on to say how like she feels like there should be an acclimation period for people who just got out of prison. Like you guys should take the break. They should get reacclimated to civil life and then maybe go back to dating. Savannah's horrified.
Savannah said, who asked you, you black ninja bitch, you? Who asked you? No one asked for your opinion. You know what? That's why I hate ninjas. I hate ninjas.
Oh my goodness.
You're the reason I hate ninjas.
Savannah does live in a plantation house. So
she hates all black women now.
I don't know, maybe, but she was pissed. She was like, who does the lawyer think she is? Bradley, meanwhile, was like, yo, I really like this lawyer.
They get in the car. She's like, I don't appreciate you telling that black ninja bitch
that's not what she said.
Our
business.
Our business. And then how dare she side with you? I'm a warden. I'm controlling. I'm so controlling. Get the hell out, Bradley. Why are you still with me?
He goes, done. Gets out.
Pretty much that's how it went down. He goes, touche. I'm going to my dad's house.
He drives to his dad's house, get out of the car.
Dad's house. He gets out the car and he just goes in the car and house.
Savannah's upset. And who does she call? His sister, who she's in a feud with, by the way. The family sister she can't stand. She calls that sister. And complains about Bradley.
And then she says, I should just run over my car and everything. She like, don't do that. I have to kill you.
The sister was like, yeah, don't make me have to murder you. So
don't make me have to murder you. And I was like, that's the easiest way of telling somebody, I will fuck you up if I have to.
I'm confused by the dynamic. Because on the one hand, she told this girl she has to distance herself from her. She can't talk to her as much. Yada, yada, yada. All the bad things about this girl. Then that girl is the first person she calls every time.
Because her and Bradley are not that close. But they're close.
His sister?
Yeah, that sister and Bradley are not that close.
Okay.
But they're close.
They're still family, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But also, this is the same sister who told her nobody in the family likes Savannah. And I remember we were like, that's out of left field, but then it turned out to be true.
So that's all it is. She's a sister who me and him might not be close, but I'll still kill you over my brother.
But my thing is, this is also the same sister that set up that dentist appointment. So they're close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
But what my question is, Savannah went through all these steps to showcase how bad of a person this sister is. Why does she keep turning to her?
Because she's the only sister that talks to her.
Savannah got no other friends.
Oh, that's the only sister she has a rapport with.
She got no other friends?
Evidently, she doesn't.
Like, I'm so confused. Because she was on a rant with Bradley about how bad his family was. And then she called his sister. I was
But then
like,
if
what?
you notice, Bradley's like, yo, I'm not going to sit here and let you bash my family.
But why are you bashing them when you also rely on them? I don't understand.
She only relies on one of them, that sister.
She can't rely on anybody else because no one else likes her.
So, and that's...
But this is also the same sister. She's dogged. What are you doing?
You don't have, like I said, you don't have to be smart to be dumb.
I'm also confused why Bradley thinks the situation's going to turn out differently. Savannah has been on one since we met her on the show.
His whole thing is stop talking to him.
His whole thing is that Savannah's got a lot of unrealistic expectations, but that hasn't changed. She maintains those unrealistic expectations. I don't understand why he keeps getting surprised and offended.
Whatever.
Break up with her.
Sure.
Save yourself.
He probably just did.
Get out of there.
Oh, took a break. Anywho, that's love
After
during,
lockup.
after lockup.
Yeah, after, not during.
Love after lockup.
Yeah.
Anything else you're doing?
I watched the last season of You. I watched the show,
You.
not my eyelids.
You.
It was weird.
Come on.
It was weird. It had moments where it was good, and then other moments where you're like, why is this? What is that? They introduced a brand new character in the last season. Why? I don't know, but they did. And then they put so much of the storytelling responsibility on this new character that we are not invested in as an audience at all. She literally shows up, and then all of a sudden she's a savior for everything. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is it like this? I felt like it ended well. The way they ended it, I thought was a good way to end it. With him going to jail, finally having to take responsibility for all the murders that he's been doing, because it's been a lot. But also they added how, like, he's got obsessive fans himself now. People that write into the prison to say that, you know, they're super into him and whatever. I liked how they ended it in that way. But outside of that, it was fine. It was fine. It was a weird insert that they added. It felt like I was watching a Mary Sue. You know what that is?
You know I don't know what that is.
Okay. Calvin. All right. So in fanfic writing, there was a term that got coined. There used to be people who wrote fanfic for Star Trek back in like the 60s, 50s, 60s. And if you were a female writer that kind of put your own self in as a character in your fanfic, they called it a Mary Sue. Basically, you wrote in that you were like the most special for your story. You had all the powers, you got all the love interest, that type of a thing. It felt like a Mary Sue. This new person that they bring in is a love interest for Joe, the main character of You, and it felt like a Mary Sue. But it felt like a Mary Sue on purpose in some points. Like they were trying to relate to the audience. Like this is the stuff we've heard from the audience that we're putting into the show. It just didn't, for me, it didn't work well.
Touche. Okay. I am not watching anything. Per usual. Oh, there's new 90-day
It's a dating show.
dating show that we're gonna watch. I'm interested in watching. That's my next big
Who
watch.
is fighting Rob? I want to know who the guy is that's trying to fight Rob. I want to know why two guys are fighting over Tiffany. Why is that happening?
We don't know. We shall see.
Hey,
I don't have anything else.
do you know how to close out, Calvin?
Close out what?
The show?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, so you could be like, well, that's it for We Like That podcast.
Because
Bye.
we like that. Bye.
Thank you for listening to We Like That podcast.
So we like that.
Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. And rate us 5 stars. I'm Javon.
I'm Calvin.
Later, people.
And we're out.